How's everything on your end?
I'm good on my end.
Okay, that's good.
Mm.
Okay, and then
Hello, everyone. This is Sapphire.
okay. Excuse me.
Yeah.
No. Um. For 1 second. Hold on. Okay, you still with me?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to make sure there isn't any like connection issue.
Okay.
Okay. Um. All right. 1 second. Okay, I think I got everything. So, clear my throat. As I go ahead and turn my attention to 1 second. Video capture. Okay. I think. Oh, yeah, we're here to say hello to Miss Sapphire Reacts.
Hello.
Reacting. Oh my god! And you know what? That background you got, that very magical, mystical background, like you're in space and in the cosmos.
Thank you.
What? How? Where did you get that?
I got it like a few years back. I forgot the name of the website, but they was like gone out of business, so they was like everything has to go, and it was like I think
Oh,
like $5. I was like, oh, let me get it.
so you
Let me
you
get
were
it.
you were the last patron before they went out of business, before they went defunct. Their last words were Sapphire reacts, carry on her legacy with that magical background.
Yeah.
Our spirit, our cosmic energy now rests within you.
Mhm.
You carry the weight of a dead business. All thanks to you. And you know what? It's hard out here.
Yeah.
Businesses are getting laid off, and no, it's no joke. It's not something to be happy about at all. And I hope that whoever ran found the appropriate place for them. But hey, you get a cool background.
Yeah.
No, I hope every business strives. Isn't
Yeah.
that right? It's in the, oh my god! My cat is like below me trying to get my attention, and then when
Oh.
I you know what no okay, I'm not gonna get distracted by cuteness anyway. Um,
I have a
but
cat. I know how it feels.
yeah, you know how it feels, right?
Yeah.
Right, hoops. You know how it feels. You know how it feels. Okay, all right. I guess you're doing that. Okay. I need a cat cam. I don't know why I'm lacking on that. Anyway, um, but that's really cool that you were able to salvage some things, and hopefully you stayed in touch with this business.
Yeah, they started themselves back up. They're doing pretty
That's
good.
good. You know what? That's good. That's a good happy ending. We like that. I want that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to see anybody fail out here. Um, so Sapphire reacts. I know the people listening like, what the heck are they talking about? Who's Sapphire reacts? Okay, well, you're a reaction content creator.
Yes.
Okay, so for those who don't know, what does that mean?
Oh, so reaction content creation is pretty much you're watching a form of media where whether it's a TV show, a movie, it could be somebody doing skits on social media. It's just your reacting, it's your honest reaction to something. So it's like you've never seen it before, and you're recording your firsthand experience watching this form of media.
So what made you want to get into content creation specifically to react to things?
What got me into it is just wanting to just share my personal thoughts and opinions on what I was consuming. Because I started back in like I believe it was 2011. I can't remember, but it was when Once Upon a Time, the TV show ABC's Once Upon a Time was airing, and I had like watched the first season. I was like, "Oh my god, this is a really good show." And then season two was getting ready to air, so I was like, "Well, let me record." Well, before became a reaction, it was just me doing a review. So I would watch the show and then post my thoughts and opinions on the episode I had just watched. Then I eventually got someone a subscriber, they wrote a comment saying you should like show your face when you're doing these reviews. And I was like, ooh, show my face, because normally it was just easy for me to like record my voice, but then doing my face, like, I was like, ooh, I don't know if I want to do my face, because you kind of get self conscious about putting yourself out there like that. So I eventually started doing it that way, physically recording myself doing reviews, and then it became a reaction, and it just started from there.
Okay, what is it about reaction content that for you is like what is it about specifically that entices you?
What it specifically entices me about it is like you're getting my firsthand experience with something, whether it's gonna shock me, scare me, make me
No,
laugh,
why
make
do
me cry.
you so like whenever somebody wants to create content, it's also like because they enjoy this type of thing. So like, what is
Mm.
it about reaction content? that entice you to start doing it yourself?
It allows me to share a part of myself with other people because I'm primarily very quiet. Like when you first meet me, you'll be like, "Oh, she's very quiet. She doesn't talk much." But when I get into like these reactions and these reviews, it's like I'm opening up a part of myself to other people that I normally wouldn't.
Okay, that's a good way of looking at it. But I noticed that when we look at the type of content, the type of reaction content that you do specifically, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of it is about anime. If it's not anime, it's different kind of internet sensations like Has Been Hotel and Castlevania. Now, Castlevania gets mistaken as an anime, but it's actually made by a studio down here in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but still, it's like mostly anime, and then every now and then you kind of react to some other things. So, well, why anime?
Well, I've been into anime since I was a little kid. Started with like Sailor Moon when I was small. I used to watch Dragon Ball Z with my uncle because he was really into. He really is kind of like the reason I kind of got into a lot of the things I'm into because he used to watch Dragon Ball Z. He was a big fan of Bruce Lee. He loved video games, so that was something that I kind of did with my uncle. Was like our time together, the time we would spend together. So it kind of stemmed from that binding moment with him.
Okay, well that's very sweet. And having an uncle who likes anime, that's really cool. That's
Yeah.
really cool. Yeah, because my parents will never get into this stuff, so I Eddie, what are you doing? No, they don't talk like that. Anyway, okay, so I'm not. Now I'm just putting on some random. I don't know, old voice. Um. Uh. Oh. Well. Okay. So the other thing about reaction content is, well, there are a lot of reaction content creators out
hmm
there. So what is it about your content that stands out?
What I think stands out about my particular content reaction content is um my thought process on what I'm consuming. When I'm like with example, I'm currently on season 2 of Interview with the Vampire and just watching the show and actually taking in like the plot, the themes, the nuances, and actually having a sort of concise opinion on what is presented to us and probably looking at things from a different perspective that that some people normally don't actually look at because some they just look at the face value of it and not actually looking at maybe a deeper meaning that they're trying to convey to us the audience.
Okay, so you pretty much, and I mean, I've of course watched your content, but just kind of for putting this in perspective as someone who, if they're looking at Sapphire Reacts for the first time, like, okay, who is Sapphire Reacts? What does she do? What is her reaction content is about? So would you say the type of content that you make as a reaction YouTuber, you would consider it a reaction plus breakdown?
Yeah,
Okay. That's a really cool way to look at it, because again you go real deep with watching episode by episode of anime, which is also an interesting challenge onto itself because with YouTube and copyright and everything like that, like
yeah,
you being a content creator all about reaction, you have to kind of work around all that. I bet.
yeah. I do get hit with the copyright when you go to upload and be like, "Oh, this video has been blocked," and they'll tell you why it's been blocked, and you're like, "Oh," and then you gotta find like different ways of uploading your reaction to the channel, to YouTube without the copyright strikes, because that does affect your channel and how they get pushes out to the algorithm.
Okay, well, how do you tackle things like that?
I primary record everything on my phone, and so there's this app I use called KineMaster. And so what I've done before when I first started was just when doing the reaction and uploading it, I would sort of edit the video itself and the transparency of it. And so that worked for a while. Then it was like, no, that's not gonna work no more. So I was like, okay, I gotta
Mm,
find a different method of doing this. So it's like putting something over the actual video, whether it be like, something that it can't read that you're watching this, or trying to reverse the image. And so that has been working for a while. So now if I do get like hit with a like strike, it's usually because of the background music within the show. Like, how you have the, score of the thing. So they'll tell me like, oh, it recognizes you for this score. I'm like, oh, are you serious? So with the app I use, KineMaster, there's a noise remover on it. So I just use that, and it just gets rid of the background noise. So it's just the dialogue that you're hearing.
okay, that's a really, I mean, that's a very a unique way to go back because I mean the the shows that you're reacting to and like clips and everything because
Mm.
these anime they usually have their own official channels. And
Yeah.
that's the whole thing. I mean, I figured like reaction, especially reaction YouTubers, have to face like their content. Your content, at least starts out with reacting to existing content. So this is kind of like the number one thing I figure you have to kind of keep figuring out how you get around. Um,
Yeah.
because I see when you go from anime, you also go to movie trailers as well, like Craven the Hunter and Five Nights at Freddy and all of that.
Mhm.
But what I see is that before we even get into reaction, which is a 99 or 95% of your content,
Mhm.
um, there was a time you did video game streams.
Yeah, video game streaming, because I do love video games, but with video game streaming, it's kind of hard for me to try to do that as steadily. I mean, I would like to, but it's just trying to find the time to do some streaming because I still do work a 9 to 5, and with
Mm.
new schedule and stuff, you gotta try to work around, your job. Then of course, your own personal life, and trying to do this. So it's just trying to find a nice time management where I can do all these things that I want to do.
No, I totally understand because like even with looking at the frequency of how you're uploading, like you're because I know with like YouTube you have to kind of try to keep a consistent upload or
Mm-hmm.
or or something along that line. And I see that like you pretty much upload like every other day. It looks like.
Yeah,
So I get that, and probably even editing and uploading it onto YouTube and trying to watch that go to 100%. That's probably a lot of time on
yeah,
itself.
yeah.
So then I guess that brings like what exactly would you say is like when somebody says, if somebody were to say reaction content, that's kind of easy. What would you say makes being a reaction content creator the challenge and the work that it is? Besides, of course, having to kind of work around copyright claims.
So reaction content is not easy because one, some things that you may react to doesn't mean other people want to watch you react to that particular show. Like, I did Bleach for about 8 episodes. Nobody really liked that, and it's not only that if you're also gauging the what is going to pull people in, but it's also you as a reactor. Are you going to actually enjoy watching what you're reacting to? Because with Bleach, I mean, I know it's popular, but 8 episodes in, I was like, I can't. It just didn't captivate me to want to keep going.
Mm.
Yeah, so you don't want to watch somebody react to something and they're just like this all day in the video, like bored. Then you're gonna get bored. That's not
I
fun
don't know.
for nobody.
Somebody might like that. They could be like, you know what? I like that person's face. I'm gonna watch just to watch that person's face. I like that person's face. Let me hit this as subscribe because I'm watching that person's face, and then you'd be like, man, you're weird. I need to block you right now. Subscribe for that person's face. Come on, subscribe already. Subscribe for that. Okay. All right. Uh. Okay. Well. Okay. Well. Which that is true because I mean, what is reaction content without the I guess the energy of the person reacting. If you're not getting
Yeah.
energy to it, then um, I get that. But I mean, we talk a lot about anime, and of course, anime resonates with you a lot.
Mm.
Um, do you do you go out to conventions? Like, do you go to other places where you try to mingle with other anime fans, and then uh, you go like, "Man, let's react to the latest episode of My Hero Academia together," or
Um,
something like that.
I've been to anime conventions. I think I've been to out here in Georgia. There's like several.
Mm.
The last one I recently attended was MomoCon. I went for like a Saturday because the voice of Ariel, Jodie Benson, she was there, and she's like my favorite Disney princess. I was like, I gotta go. I gotta get her autograph. I gotta get a picture and autograph,
Okay.
which I got. So that was awesome. Yeah, but in terms of like anime conventions, I think I've been about 3 times. The first time was back in high school. A friend of mine, she was like, her brother's working at this new anime convention that's just starting this weekend, and we can all go. He got his like passes and stuff. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Let me go because I've never been to one, so that was like my first time experience with that. And that was MomoCon. The first year they was that their first year they was at Georgia Tech, and then the second time I actually went for a weekend to um Anime Atlanta Weekend, also known as AWA. I went with a friend. We booked a hotel. We stayed for the whole week. That was fun. We even cosplayed a little bit. We really enjoyed ourselves. And then, of course, the last time I went was recently, back this past March to go see Jodie Benson. So I've only been like there 3 times.
Okay. Do you, as an anime fan, do you see these conventions being a big benefit, or like, nah, I just prefer the internet?
I guess it depends on the person, but I see it as a benefit because most people probably you don't it's easy for you to kind of communicate and mingle with people with like interests and hobbies and things. Then when you go back home, you probably don't really have anyone to talk to, and some people's families they think it's weird, especially once
Mm-hmm.
you become an adult. Is like,
Mm-hmm.
why are you still doing this childish? Why are you not doing adult things? Why are you
Mm-hmm.
still doing this child thing? Which is not really
Mm-hmm.
childish. It's just another hobby, like anything else.
That those old generations, they
Yeah.
just don't get it. No, I had to all the, you just have to stand your ground. Okay, you
Yeah.
just have to stand your ground. Um, and someday they will get it. Hopefully,
Yeah. Hopefully.
maybe I don't know. But uh, okay. So what what is it like for you, at least right now, as a black anime fan?
As a black anime fan, as of right now, I would say it's pretty. Um, is I would say we're sort of like still like a niche in a niche part of the anime community, because even though now like I do see a lot of us in the communities, I feel like even though we're here, it's like people still kind of put us in a box like, oh, you're black, if you like anime you gotta like the black characters, or you gotta like this type of thing.
Mm.
It's like they still try to box you, and then you're just like, you can't really box us, because we have everybody has different interests and likes. Like some days you'll see me with anime, you'll probably see me with a t-shirt on with anime and stuff from there. But one day, you might see me just wearing casual clothes, or one day you might see me wearing black lipstick and I'm looking like a goth. I really don't like the idea of myself being put into a box, because I have so many likes and interests. I really don't like the idea of putting myself into like one little box. That was something I disliked growing up in high school, especially when I got here to Georgia. Like everybody kept trying to put me in a box, or if I didn't behave and what they thought a black girl should be, then I was weird. I was I was trying to be what they would like to normally say. I was trying to be white, which I'm not trying to
Mm.
be white. I'm just being myself. Okay.
No, you be yourself because you are a beautiful human being. You being yourself
Thank
is
you.
the most important. Um, I didn't even acknowledge it just yet because I was focused on that background, that galaxy background. But you have Boondocks earrings and then a Pokemon T-shirt.
Yeah.
That is such a interesting combination.
Yeah.
I is Boondocks considered an anime?
I mean, some people do, some people don't. I mean, it was made. I mean, it uses the anime type,
Yeah,
designs, art, but it's made here in America.
I
So,
figured it's made here in America. Because that's the thing. Like I tend to see how anime, like actual Japanese animation, is
mm,
different from American anime. That's
yeah,
has like a anime inspired feel to it.
yeah,
So like Avatar: The Last Airbender gets mistaken as an anime, even though it's not. It was made by a
yeah,
Canadian studio, and you can see by like the animation, the facial expressions, or at least it's still different. It's not exactly the same as an anime, and even with the
yeah,
Boondocks for that matter, I guess because then at the same time, Japanese animation comes in different areas, so you
yeah.
can't always tell sometimes. But okay. Um, so with that being said, like things in a place right now, you have things like DreamCon and BlurredCon for that matter. In relation
Mm.
to that discussion, do you feel like with those conventions existing, does that sort of move the needle for you? At least for how you're represented.
With BlurCon and DreamCon, I think it's beautiful seeing a convention, because I've heard like, because I follow other Black creators on social media, and I've always hear them stories of like they're being told like, oh, you shouldn't do this because this character is not dark skinned,
Oh yeah.
or things like that, or they're getting harassed. And with BlurCon and DreamCon, it's where people like us can go without being harassed. We can be ourselves. We don't have to try to make other people feel comfortable or have to deal with the harassment. We can go out there, be ourselves. We can, engage with other people with that looks like us with the same interests, and communicate and network. And it's just a beautiful thing. Because if you would have told me something like this when I was in high school, I would have never believed you. I'd be like, there's nothing like that. Stop lying. It's a dream. But seeing it now, now that I'm an adult, is actually a beautiful thing.
It is. So what do you do when you're not creating content?
When I'm not creating content, I'm either playing with my cat.
Okay, you're
Uh,
playing with your cat. Okay, you know what?
yeah.
W play with cat. You know what? You know what? All right, we're playing with cats. Okay, okay. You know what? Where's my cat? Where's my cat? Where the crap is my cat? Where the crap is my cat? All right. Oops. Come here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Meow, meow. Hey, hey. Come here. Come here. Come here. Okay, you know what? Never mind. Never mind. That's not gonna work. She's in her laying position. Anyway. All right. Scrap that. Didn't work. Okay. What do you say about playing with cats? Is it's fun and I don't know.
Yes,
I
when I play,
don't.
yeah, yeah, I'm either playing with my cat or I'm trying like something I saw for YouTube. Like I've been watching also a lot of like baking type stuff, so I'll be like, "Oh, I could try that." I've been trying that.
Mm.
Also been doing some crafting, like crochet and making like resin keychains and stuff, and just playing around with that type of stuff because I like to work with my hands. So been just messing around with some of those things.
So, would you at some point want to mix up the reaction content with some of your other interests? Or do you feel like I want to have reaction content be content and the rest for fun?
I think I might sometime in the future might mix them up together because like with crochet, like you could crochet, anything. Like I bought myself like some amiguri books of how to make like plushies. So I'm like, I can make, I mean, some of it is going to be difficult,
Mm.
but once I like get the hang of it, I could go ahead and make like I can make a amiguri of like a favorite character that I like, and I'll think that'll be really cool, or a blanket, things like that. I think that'd be really cool.
Okay. Um, do you, okay, so, I mean, how do you balance all these activities, all this stuff that you like to do? And then, as you said, having a 9 to 5 job
Yeah.
without
So
burning
how I
yourself out.
Yeah. So how I balance it is what I mostly do is Monday through Friday is when I work. Then after once I get off of work, if I've already have some videos recorded, then I'll probably take like 1 hour to 2 hours and just edit, and then do my other stuff like eat, take a bath, all that stuff. And then the next day I'll after work, I'll probably take 1 to 2 hours and do like a crochet project or something, or try to learn a new technique. And the weekends is mostly when I'm doing a lot more because I'm not working on weekends, but I still have to get other things done, like bills, groceries, that type of thing. So I normally wake up in the morning around like 9, get that stuff done, then take a little break for myself, relax, chill out, and then I'll go into like maybe record some videos or do some crochet projects. So that's normally how I kind of balance things out without over stressing myself. If I over stress myself, it's not gonna be a good day. Because when I stress out, I eat, and I'm a sweet demon. Like I will eat some. I will
A
eat
sweet
some
demon.
cookies. Sweet demon. I love sweets like donuts, cookies, ice cream, popsicles, candy. Like if I get stressed and I'm start eating candy, then I'm gonna feel bad about myself because like why did I eat this whole thing of cookies? Like
Mmm, not the
I didn't need to eat a
cookies.
whole bag of Oreos.
Not the
I didn't need to do
Oreos.
that.
Not Milk's favorite cookie. No, no. Do you dip it in milk
Yeah,
or have it
yeah.
without? Okay, all right, okay,
Mhm.
okay. Uh, I've never dipped Oreos in milk. I don't know why you said that. That's not relevant. Anyway. um. Uh. Okay. So. Well, the other thing is because people who are content creators, and you see it on social media, especially because there's always content creation chatter
Mhm.
of what it means to make content creation a full time job, or someone saying, "I love content creation, but I got burnout. Now I don't want to do it anymore, or I just want to take a break." Do you at all experience any of that, or like find somebody to kind of avoid losing sight of why you enjoy doing this?
So to avoid losing sight of why I do this is I gotta remember, like I
Oh, hold
do
that
this
thought.
because
Hold that thought. Hold that thought, because someone wants to make an appearance. Because you cannot. Where do you think you're going? You think you can mess with me again? You think you can mess with me again? You. Oh, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. Because you wanna rub off on my leg and signal that you're hungry. Well, you want. I fed you. I fed you. So now look at that. Now look at that. You don't know you don't know what's going on right now. You don't know what's going on right now because I caught you in the act. What do you
he's
think
like,
about
huh?
that? What do you think? Oh. What do you think about that? All right. Anyway, yeah, I have to watch my cat because she gets into things um,
Mhm.
and then messes up my streaming. So that's why I have to pick her up and call her out on her BS. Right. That's right. That's right. That's right. No. um. Anyway. Uh. Yes. As you were saying about burnout.
Yeah. So to avoid being burnout, because I think with social media, because there's always this drive, like you got to keep yourself relevant. And so with trying to keep yourself relevant, you're constantly pushing yourself to stay on top of every single thing, whether there's a trend, whatever niche you're in within on YouTube, you're always trying to keep yourself on top of everything. So you're like trying to watch the new episode that comes out, the new movie that came out, the new makeup trend, the new fashion is like constantly trying to keep on top of what's always new. You're gonna burn out because it's a trend. Trends come and go. So if you're constantly kind of keep up with a trend, you're gonna burn out because they're constantly changing. Like right now, when like a lot of people are wearing like '90s nostalgia, like everything's '90s. At some point, nobody's gonna really care about the '90s. It's gonna probably be a new decade they're gonna be into. And then it's like now you didn't got all this '90s stuff, and now it's now about the '80s maybe. You keep constantly keeping up with trends is going to get tiring because they're constantly changing. And me, I've never been a person that kept up with trends because you're just keeping up with trends because you want to seem cool and relevant. Like I remember when Pokemon Go was first announced, and everybody was like, "Oh my god, Pokemon Go, Pokemon Go!" Everybody was trying to do Pokemon Go. Everybody was talking about it. Then after like a few months, nobody was really talking about it unless you was like an actual Pokemon fan and you still kept up with Pokemon Go. But everybody else fell off because it was hot at the time, and now it's not anymore. So I've never been a person to try to keep a trend because if I like something, I like it, and that's the way I keep it. So the things that I watch them because I enjoy it. Like My Hero Academia, I like it. Interview with the Vampire, I read the book. I seen the movie as a child, and when I heard they was coming out with a TV show, I was like, okay, let me see how this is going to go. It's going to be how they depicted the characters they did in the movie, or are they going to actually stay more close to the book? And so far, is more closely to the book. I mean, obviously, because of the TV show, you got to change some things up because you got to keep people entertained. But overall, it's better than the movie, even though the movie for that time period it was good.
Okay. No, I totally trend and I get sorry. That does like trends for uh trends for reaction content. I bet that's probably a lot to deal. Oh my god. Um, no, I mean people listening. My cat is on my lap, and usually she'd be restless, but like I don't know, she's fascinated by you because now she's like just staring at you. Um, I don't. I think she likes the colors in the background, and she likes being on my lap. So you can barely see her head, but she's just wagging her tail a lot now. All right, which is good. Good. Okay, good for me. Um, okay, so uh, reaction content's not the only thing you do though, cause I also saw you have a podcast. Can you tell us about that?
So the podcast, I haven't published anything on there yet, but I do plan on publishing like later like coming winter, because kind of have like everything kind of recorded already. But I was thinking about like some of the shows I have watched, some of the animes I watched, like how like some questions, like just some things that when you watch something, these questions kind of pop up your head, like with Naruto, which came out when I was in high school. But in high school, I was more into like the romance type anime, so I wasn't really watching a lot of shonen as of yet. But with Naruto, when I did eventually watch it, I kind of because it was available on Netflix and Hulu, so like, okay, let me just go ahead and binge watch the show. I did not understand it was going to be that long, like 500 episodes, but I ended up binge watching it. I was like, okay, this is a pretty good show. I like the characters, I like the plot and everything. And then I thought about why I was watching it when I go back to think about it, and like you see, if you go to like Twitter and things, and you see people have like these debates about Naruto, and it just brings up some questions like before I even watched the show Naruto, everything I would normally hear about Sasuke's character was like, oh, he's emo, he's this and that, and the character of Sakura, oh, well, she's useless, Hinata is better, and blah 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 and stuff like that. And so when you're watching the show, but you're hearing this discourse, it's like, wait a minute, did these people actually watch the show? Because Sasuke, he went through trauma. I wouldn't call that being emotional. I mean, I'm saying if you had an experience where you watched loved ones die, I wouldn't call you emotional. That's very traumatic. And then with Sakura's character, like just me watching it, it just brought up some questions. I was like, hmm, why do we come up as an audience with this particular viewpoint of certain characters versus how we feel about another character? Is because we have favoritism over this character? Is do we actually understand the concept of being that is being portrayed in the show? Like, it's just made me had those questions. So I was like, why don't I put this into a podcast and kind of actually go into a more in-depth discussion about the themes and things that are presented within a show or a movie? And so I was like, I'm gonna create a podcast, and so that's gonna be episode one's gonna be sometime this winter, and the first four episodes I've kind of already have outlined is gonna be strictly about Naruto. Whether it's first episode is gonna actually be about the first three Hokages, and because of the decisions they made, how that affects Naruto, and essentially his story progresses forward. Sort of the consequences of their decisions.
Right. Um, I'm saying this like I know. I haven't watched kept up with Naruto. Yeah, the thing with Sasuke in the in do you hear that, right, Hoops? Do you hear that, right, Hoops? The thing with Sasuke, right, Ray Hoops, right, right, Hoops. You watch Naruto, right? 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 Yeah, she's thinking about all the episodes. She's just been, hey, you just been you binged watched all of the anime. Okay, okay, okay. Not I don't even know what she's thinking about now. Anyway, um, you also have a gaming channel though. I mean, going back to it, I know you said that you are trying to have time for that again, but where gaming started to be on your channel when you go back to your earlier episodes. I see you have kind of a roadmap of the other type of content you want to make. You have a Sapphire Games, and then also making content on TikTok. Do you see TikTok as a viable place for you as a reaction creator?
With TikTok, I do see it as a viable outlet for reaction creators, because you got some people that will watch long form content, but you got some people, they prefer short form content. And so it's just taking what I have and taking what I've made and just condensing it, you know, and putting it on there. Or if I just want to do like a quick talk about something, I could put it on there. but I don't have to do a whole long, whole like 10-minute video. I can do a quick 1 minute, just a quick thought and things like that.
Okay. Um. Okay. Because I know that uh, you have trailer reactions as well, and
Mm-hmm.
trailers are usually like 1 or 2 minutes. Do you consider yourself like wanting to react to also the movies, in addition to the trailers?
Yeah, with some movies I do want to do a reaction, but some movies I just kind of just like want to watch on my own.
Okay.
So it kind of just depends.
Okay. Um. So, uh, what is it about YouTube that works for you? Out of all places of content.
What is it about YouTube that works for me is just I feel the freedom that it gives me, because with YouTube it's designed for like whatever niche you may be in, reaction, gaming, makeup, fashion, whatever niche you're in, you're going to find an audience for you. And then of course, with YouTube is the way it's growing, you got YouTube shorts and things like that. So it just adds you more of a way where if you don't want to have multiple social media accounts, you can do everything on YouTube. Like, you want to do long form content, you got it. You want to do short content, you got it. If you just want to do gaming, you got it. Because some people, it's hard to try to keep up with all these social media accounts, because some of them gonna come and then some of them gonna go. I mean, MySpace was popular when it came out,
Yeah.
and now nobody uses MySpace anymore.
You never
So
know. Somebody use it. Somebody. Why? Why do you giggle over that? There people use MySpace. I mean, the site wouldn't exist if people aren't using it.
Yeah, it's just like certain things. As I said, with trends, people, it's the whole trend thing. Like, it comes hot,
Hmm.
then with it being a site, it has to kind of stay keep itself up. So eventually, some of them might shut down. Like Vine was like the same before
Hmm.
TikTok, and everybody was using Vine, and now Vine is no more.
So let's say reaction content is no more. What would be your plan if you wanted to continue to be a content creator?
If reactions was no more, then I'll just find something. I'll probably go into gaming, or I might just go into my crafting, because I do love working with my hands, or baking. You can watch me make some delicious cheesecake, but probably mess up
Hmm.
some bread.
Okay. And everybody just listening knows that I have a cat. Um, so for the audio version, you're not gonna see this cat, but for the video version, my cat. Oh my god, my cat is. Cat kisses like they're very rough as opposed to dog
Yeah.
kisses. So my cat is kissing my arm right now as she's got me like wrapped. Ow. Okay. All right. You know what? Speaking of reaction. All right. You know what? We're gonna react to you, Hoops. What are you doing? Ooh. Okay. Okay. What are you do? What are you do? What are you doing? Okay. Hoops. Hey, Hoops. Hoops. Hey. Hoops. Okay. She's doing some deep cleaning. I'm like I'm. I mean, you as a cat owner, do cats like do some like deep cleaning where they just pull fur like that?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is normal what my cat's doing.
Yeah.
Dude, she's going hard. Like she's she's pressing her paw against my arm and like kissing me while she's doing this and like eating the fur. Hoops, what are you? Ow. Okay. Okay. I don't know. Okay, all right. Oh my. Okay. Hoops. Hoops. What are you? Okay. Hoops, hoops, come here, come here. Do you even? Okay, I don't know. I don't know if our sounds are picking up on the mic. Okay. You know what? This is just total filler because people on the audio version don't know what's going on. My cat is just going to town with her fur and
Yep. Mhm.
oh my god, she is heavy. All right, you know what? Okay, okay, all right, hoops. Oh gosh, all right. Oh my god, let's. um. Okay, well, uh, so what are what are some sponsorship deals? What are some collaborate? What are some things that you want to advance with yourself as a creator, if you do?
um, that's not something I have actually thought about. I've just kind of just been focusing on where I am now. But
Gotcha.
like future wise, like sponsorship it would be pretty cool. Like probably Best Buy because I like electronics. Like once I've learned how certain things work, it's because it's something I can physically mess with. So Best Buy would probably be a good one. I'm not sure what else because that would be more hands on with me. If I had to collaborate with other content creators, there's a couple I wouldn't mind collaborating with.
Mm,
Like your boy Roshi would be an awesome one. I would love to. Jazzy Guns, she would also be another
mm.
one. Barefoot Tasha, she would not be another one. Billy Binge, Melverse, those would be some content creators I would like to collab with.
Okay. Uh, yeah, because I was wondering, like, looking at your videos, do you ever like want to do reaction content where you're reacting with friends, or you're reacting with other people?
Yeah, that'd be something I would like to do. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sure you're gonna find it. Maybe it might be these cats here because they're definitely reactionary. Right? Isn't that right, Hoops? Isn't that right, Hoops? Do you like reaction content? Hey, do you like reaction content? Okay, all right. There she goes again with her deep cleaning. All right, okay, all right. That's enough. That's enough. You picked at your fur a lot. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. She is. Oh, she has a big tail. She is smacking my mic with her tail. Oh, oh my, oh my God! All right, hoops. I gotta get you out of here because you're okay. All right, let me get you down. Okay, technical difficulties right here. Oh my gosh, she is she's definitely taking over right now. Okay. Ooh. Okay, well that's enough cat action for one day. All right. Yeah, people just listening. I just had my cat doing deep cleaning, using my shoulders and my arms. Okay. Well, anyway, enough of that. Enough of that. Yeah. Just know if you have animals in the house, they
your
might.
audio,
Wait, my audio?
your audio went out.
Oh my god. Hmm. How's this?
I get you now.
Okay. What in the world? Wait, did it just go out or has it been out?
It just went out.
Okay, okay, yeah. Oh my gosh! See, this is what you get when you have pets. Just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Okay, well, that's really awesome to hear that you still feel inspired to do all that, which is important. Because you are very active with your content, and
Yeah.
You didn't hear that, did you? Man, I'm just getting interruptions. Oh my god! All right. Well, anyway, anyway. Uh, okay. Well, what what would be what are you looking forward to in your near future?
What I'm looking forward to in my near future is still doing what I like to do. Still doing more reaction content. Slowly go back to adding some more gaming to the channel because I do love video gaming. I plan on because it keeps popping up in my timeline. I'm guessing because I love vampires. Is this the character? What's his name? Astarion from Baldur's Gate 3. He keeps
Mm,
popping up in my timeline. So I'm like, what's
why?
this Baldur's Gate 3? So I'm
Why is
like,
he
okay, I
pop?
want to play that.
Okay, no. Why is he popping up in your timeline? What does that mean?
I'm guessing popping up because I'm guessing because I've been watching like stuff that's related to vampires and his character is a vampire. So it's kind of like, hey, we see you like vampires. So what about this one? I'm like,
Oh,
okay,
is it some
yeah,
DeviantArt BS? No,
yeah.
it's. Wait. I
So
was
I'm
just
like,
guessing. All
yeah. So
right.
I'm like, okay, what's this character? Like, I keep seeing because it's vampires this and vampires
Yeah.
that. It's like, okay, then I'm like Baldur's Gate 3. I'm like, what the heck is a Baldur's Gate 3? Like, so like
You
seeing like
don't
some
know what.
trailers and people talking
You don't
because
know what a Baldur's Gate 3 is? Oh
it
my
just pops
gosh.
up.
Oh
It just
my
pops up.
gosh. Oh my
So
gosh.
I've seen people's
Oh my
videos about
gosh.
it and things like that. So I'm like, okay, it's a video games based off Dungeons and Dragons. I'm like, okay. Like, because
Mm-mm-mm.
video games,
Mm-mm.
most of the ones I play have mostly been like, shooter type games, fighting games, things like that. Not really have been played a lot of role playing type games. So with Baldur's Gate 3, I've seen like people, play it. I've seen like the voice actor of Astarion and he talked about his experience with it and everything. So I'm like, that got me intrigued and wanting to play it because I have a friend he plays Dungeons and Dragons
Hold
and
on.
it does interest me, but that would also be something I would have to put time in because you have to do the whole character creation thing, which I looked at it like that is interesting because that's something I do like to do, like also on my spare time, like writing stories. So
Okay.
that is something that I do want to look into.
That you shall. And you know what? While you do that, hold on. While you do that, Sapphire, looking into doing all of that reaction and even gaming, um, react to some poggers. You know, because being a content creator is just so dang hard, and we get thirsty so often, and we forget to drink, and that's why
Yeah.
poggers with their amazing energy, hydration, and even sleep mix. If you have trouble going to sleep, Sapphire, you can just drink a cup of Pogger sleep mix, either grape or I think it's acid grape flavor. But anyway, drink some sleep mix and it'll knock you the heck out, and you'll wake up going like, "Wow, I slept well. Thank you, Pyre." So, this is a proud sponsor of Pond's Press. You can go exclamation mark Poggers at 10% off all orders plus all purchases of Poggers goes directly to Pond's Press. No, 10% goes back to Pond's Press. And also humblebundle.com for all of us cheapskates looking to get games cheap. Whether it be PC or Switch, there's discounts of games every single day. Again, that's exclamation mark humble. Once again, 10% of all purchases go back to Pond's Press. So thanks to wonderful sponsors. Sapphire, where do people find you?
Well, you can find me on YouTube at Sapphire Reacts. Find me on Instagram at Sapphire Reacts. Twitter and TikTok also at Sapphire Reacts.
Oh, yeah. Are you reacting to things on Instagram too?
Instagram, not really. I'll
Oh,
kind of just like post primarily like pictures or keep people updated like when a reaction video is going up or things like that.
okay. Have you thought of doing reels more?
I thought about it
Okay.
because it's like it's similar to like kind of how like with social media, like when one app does something, then the other apps will adapt to. So
Okay. That's a good way to look at it. And this podcast is on Pawn Express, which is everywhere Pawn Express, except on X at Cheese Pawn 64. But the VOD immediately goes live as the interview concludes, so you can pretty much watch, react, clip, however. And I save the audio for later audio uploads as well. But everything Pawn Express at this time, I will actually continue tonight. Because it's also National Video Game Day. Speaking of,
mhm.
um, playing just a random game that I have on my Steam for a little more of tonight. But
Mhm.
this concludes my discussion with the lovely Sapphire Reacts, and I hope you enjoy yourself and be sure to know your worth and great importance into
Thank you so
your.
much.
Of course. Thank you for stopping by and taking an hour of your day. A
Thank
very
you.
reactful day, yes. So we're going to react to. Okay, I don't even know where I'm going with this. So anyway, I'm going to. Much love to you, Miss, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. I hope you have a beautiful one as well.
You as well. Yeah. Oh shoot. Okay. Well, now we're gonna react to doing our. Man, she is a lovely human being. Definitely check out her work. I'm gonna go ahead and oh gosh, hold on. Let me frick. Hold on. Hold on. Oh my god. Wait. Where do I go? Oh, right here. Starting soon. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and link her channel so y'all can check her out. But anyway, we are gonna go ahead and get straight into some games tonight. Actually, I have one game in particular that I'm gonna play. But in the meantime, concludes this interview and have a great rest of your day. Well, no, we're gonna continue, but anyway.